Hello, one and all. It's my video Doc Stone, chapter 188, What I Once Sought to Destroy. And first off, I just want to apologize for not doing a video last week. I read the chapter Sunday. I was super excited to cover it, but then as the day went on, I just kept getting worse and worse and ended up barely sleeping at all Sunday nights. Woke up Monday morning and realized, okay, I do not have it in me. I can't do this. Still not at 100%, but I am strong enough now where hopefully I'll manage to get through this video. Because, I mean, seriously, Kohaku, Tsukasa, and Hyoga were all shot this chapter and are on the verge of death or possibly dead. I mean, Tsukasa said Hyoga has met his end, and I don't think that's the kind of thing he'd be wrong about, so yeah, I think Hyoga's dead. That sucks. I mean, seriously, he just started becoming a member of the Kingdom of Science. They've just started, putting their trust and faith in him. He's become an ally and a friend, and losing him here would just be so heartbreaking, especially for Homura. I mean, seriously, she basically lives for Hyoga. How is she going to react, to the news that he is dead? I mean, we actually don't know all that much about her. We still don't know, why it is she is so loyal to him, why she has so much faith and trust in him. I mean, the one bright side to him dying would probably be, she'd actually tell us about that. She'd actually explain, who he was before he met her and how they became so close. That'd be something at least. But the question is raised, though, can the Medusa revive the dead? And that's actually a fairly good question. I mean, it can revive some pretty minor damage, can even revive, cut off arms and whatnot. So it would make a certain amount of sense, for it to be able to revive the dead if, it's used within a few short minutes of the person passing. But it definitely seems like some time has passed here, given that it's currently nighttime, which means, yeah, there's a very low chance of actually working on Hyoga unless he's, just recently bled to death and it took a very long time. But yeah, that's bad. That's bad. I mean, as for Tsukasa and Kohaku, though, I mean, they have a much better chance given, like I said, time has passed. It's nighttime now, as we can tell from this absolutely beautiful shot of the night sky. Oh my god, I love Boichi so much. Seriously, that is beautiful. So given that so much time has passed, I don't think that, Suka and Francois would have gone all that far away from their base camp. There's a fairly good chance that Stanley is, right about at Senku's door right now, and, Senku's about to unleash Petrification Beam and petrify everyone in the area, saving Tsukasa and Kohaku. Maybe, hopefully, please, for the love of God, do not let them die. I mean, I'm hopeful, but yeah, I could really see them killing off Hyoga now, and that would just be so sad. I mean, I definitely should have seen this coming. I mean, the very first line in this chapter was, "We're surrounded by Stanley's armed soldiers, so our deaths are pretty much guaranteed." I mean, I read that and I laughed. I'm like, Kohaku, you're not gonna die. And I got to the end of the chapter, I'm like, Kohaku, you're not gonna die, right? Yeah, that was weird. That was very, very weird. But I do just love the absolute teamwork between these guys. I mean, Kohaku's line here about how her back's always cold in battle because she never shows it the enemy, but now she can because, she has Tsukasa and Hyoga. She has them backing her up, and she has complete and utter faith in them in this battle. I just freaking love that. And that faith is definitely well placed because as Maya attempts to crush Kohaku with a tree that she literally ripped out of the freaking ground, because of course she did, Tsukasa comes in and literally cuts it in half, saving her life. I love that. And then I just love all the soldiers freak out. Wait, that's Tsukasa? History's strongest primate high schooler? The MMA champ from Japan? I love that he's so famous that even these guys have heard of him. And, Maya's all excited for this because she was also, an MMA champion. But it seems like she's not actually all that much of a match for Tsukasa. I mean, seriously, she's a trained soldier, and it took Tsukasa basically one punch to knock her out. I freaking love that. And I do think that makes a certain amount of sense. I mean, yes, she was an MMA fighter, but she was also a soldier, She trained as a soldier with weapons. Yes, hand-to-hand combat was a part of it, but definitely, more heavily focused on weapon training. So Tsukasa, who has always relied on his fist or his giant sword, might have a slight advantage over her in this situation. Unfortunately, he's not bulletproof, and he immediately gets shot by someone hiding in the bush. Absolute coward. And a lot of people online are commenting about how Tsukasa was killed by the thing he tried so hard to stop, but, it's interesting. You can almost look at it as the other way. If Tsukasa had been more pro-gun, if Senku had been more pro-gun, they'd focus more, creating weapons to defend themselves before they attempted to create a rocket to the moon. Then by the time they met Zeno and Stanley, they would already have, weapons of their own. Weapons they could have used to defend themselves against these soldiers. And they wouldn't have been, caught so off guard. So if Tsukasa had the opposite philosophy, he might not have been killed here. Interesting. And then Hyoga goes in and takes the blow for Kohaku. He literally sacrifices his life to save her. That's so out of character to the man we knew at the start of the series. It shows such growth he's had. I mean, seriously, those last lines. Really, Kohaku, why you stand around gawking at me when you've got a job to do? Oh my god, such great final words from him. Such great final words. And, Kohaku, makes use of his sacrifice. She goes in, she takes out the radio, and, as she's crying at the loss of her friends about how she's about to die herself, Stanley has to comment, not bad. He's impressed, not only by the strength of will it takes to continue fighting after losing your comrades, but, by their strategy and their planning the situation. We don't actually see Stanley shoot at her, but later on we see her laying on the ground. She has blood on her, and Tsukasa says, both of them don't have a lot of time left, so certainly seems like she was shot, and, now she's bleeding out along with Tsukasa, which is very, very bad, and very sad, and very heartbreaking. Please don't die, Kohaku! The ship still needs to sail! You still need to end up with Senku! Hopefully, maybe, please. Oh god, seriously, can anyone actually imagine Kohaku really dying, really passing on here? I mean, it just seems so impossible. I mean, if it did, would that change who Senku is as a person? Would it change his philosophy of, no killing, going into this, trying to get a peaceful ending with everyone? Or would it change him? Would it make him someone who wants to get revenge, who would go after Stanley and, after he petrified him, he would shatter him, he would break his statue as a means of getting revenge for Kohaku? I mean, that seems very unlikely, but maybe. I've talked about Hyoga, I've talked about Kohaku, there's still Tsukasa. Do you think Tsukasa will die? That's a whole other question, because it seems like he's such bros with Senku, They've become, such pals over the eras, and, now his final words are how he's basically willing to sacrifice himself for Senku's will, for Senku's dream of a world of science. That does kind of feel like it could be, the end of his journey, the end of his character arc. He started off being against Senku, then he befriended Senku, now he's fully willing to die for Senku and his goals, for Senku's dreams, so that would make a lot of sense. Oh god. Tsukasa's sister, though, Mira, she would be so utterly, utterly heartbroken to lose her big brother like this. I mean, seriously. I mean, if someone does die here, I said before, it could turn Senku evil, could turn Senku into a vindictive person. But even if it doesn't, there's still the rest of Senku's team. Are they willing to forgive the people who murdered their friends, who murdered their allies, who murdered basically their family? I don't think they are, which, oh god, that'd be... Oh, this would get very, very dark. I'm really hoping beyond hope that somehow, some way, they all managed to survive, they managed to be revived after being turned to stone, and they managed to actually make peace, but it almost feels like that's not the direction they're going to go in here. I'm really not sure about that. Anyway, as Tsukasa lays there on the ground, he says, I leave the rest to you, Senku. And we see Senku, and Kaseki trying to perfect the diamond, trying to make the exact right diamond that they can use to petrify Stanley and his gang. Hopefully they get it in time to save them, but more importantly right now, hopefully they get in time to save themselves, because Stanley must be very, very close by now, and yeah, that's bad. That's very, very bad. Also, who's going to be the next designated survivor? Because, yeah, I assumed it'd be Chrome, but Chrome is standing right there. So did they send someone else out? Someone who's far enough away now where the blast won't hit them, but will hit, Tsukasa, Kohaku, and Hyoga? I'm hoping that's the case. Definitely hoping that's the case, but I really don't know right now. Went in this chapter thinking, okay, you know what, they're going to try and fight, they're going to get captured or slightly injured. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting to see them dying on the ground, for Hyoga to actually die. Just, wow, okay, but please, let me think else down below. What do you think of this chapter? Do you think Hyoga's actually going to stay dead? Do you think the other two are actually going to die? How is Senku going to react to this news? Will he become a much darker person, or is he willing to, keep pushing forward and move past this? I really, really don't know anymore. I've always said with this series, if you're willing to follow the clues, you can see almost anything coming, but I did not see this coming, and I really can't see where the path goes from here. But please, let me know all down below. Be sure to like and subscribe to the next video, and until then, peace!